How do you speak more, or how do you expand your answers? In order to speak more, you need more information, but we often struggle to what kind of information we can add. So I'll give you 9 tricks to the sorts of information you can add when you're speaking during the test. The first piece of information you can add is to add your feelings and opinions. Say how you feel about the question you were just asked. It would also make your answer more interesting. Let's look at an example. What do you like to do in your spare time? Now, if you're asked this question, there is an easy way to answer the question, and that would be the short answer. You can just say, I like shopping. But remember, this is an English language exam, and the examiner is testing you on your ability to speak fluently in English. So you need a longer answer, which can be as such. I like shopping because I love trying on new clothes, and I always feel more confident when I'm wearing a new outfit. In this way, you can add your feelings and opinions associated with the question and have a much longer answer. Now let's look at the next way. The second trick is to add a contrasting detail, and you can do this by simply using the word but to contrast details. Let's look at an example. How long have you worked here? The short answer to this could be, I've worked there for 3 years. Instead, you can have a longer answer by using the word but and adding a contrasting detail, such as, I've worked there for 3 years, but I'm going to change careers next year. The next trick to expand your idea is to combine details. So instead of giving a very short answer, you can add in some extra details with and, with, or also. Let's look at an example for this. Question: do you live in a flat or a house? You can answer this in very short, saying, I live in a house. If you want a longer answer, you can say, I live in a house with my 2 brothers and my mom. We've also got a dog and a cat. Do you notice how you're adding details by combining a number of information using the words with and also? For the next trick, you can add past comparisons to your answer. So talk about what you used to do and how that has changed now in the present. This also shows your grasp of tense. Let's look at an example. Question: do you play sports? The short answer would be, I play football. Instead, you could say, I used to love basketball, but now I play football because that's what my friends are into. Okay, trick number 5 is to add reasons to your answer. So try to explain why you think or do something in the test. You can do this using because or so. Let's look at an example for this. Question: do you like your job? It's very easy to answer this question in a yes or no. So you can simply just answer saying, yes, I love my job but it won't really show your expertise in the English language. So the examiner expects you to speak as much as you can so he or she can judge you better. A longer answer can be, I really love my job because, so you're adding a reason, because I get to help people with their problems every day. The next trick is to talk about the future or add an information that relates to the future. If something will change in the future, you can use one of the future structures like will or be going to. Let's look at an example for this and it will be clearer. Question: do you work or study? A short answer would be, I am at university at the moment. But instead, you can add something about the future and give a much longer answer saying, I am at the university at the moment, but I am graduating next year and I will hopefully get a job in advertising. The next trick is to add contrast opposite opinions. You might be asked a question where you have to talk about your opinion or another person's opinion. Use words like even so or although to show that you have considered both sides of the opinion. Let's look at an example for this. Question: is your hometown a nice place for tourists to visit? A short answer would be yes, it has a really nice beach. A longer answer can be yes, it has a really nice beach, although it is getting really busy these days, so it's not as pristine as it used to be. So do you notice how a contrasting piece of information is adding length to your answer? Okay, moving on to trick number 8. Give examples. This is probably the easiest way to add information or add volume to your answers. Real life examples are always the easiest things to talk about because you can talk about them naturally and in more detail. Let's look at an example. Question: do you get along with your brothers? A short answer would be no, we're not in the same things. But if you want to answer in length, you can say no, we're not into the same things. Like, or for example, when we are both watching TV, we always fight about what show to watch. So you add an example. Okay, the last trick would be frequency. What that means is that you explain how often or how rarely you do something. You can use words like usually, never, always, and more often than not. Let's see an example for this. Question: what do you do at the weekends? Now you can answer simply by saying, I watch TV and I play computer games. But if you want to extend your answer, you can say, I usually watch TV and play computer games, but sometimes I go out for a drink with my friends. So those were the 9 tricks for expanding your answers during the IELTS speaking test, but it's very important that you keep practicing as much as you can. And if you like the video and you want more videos, subscribe, like, and comment.